fingers and toes and come back into our space. Now we have a beautiful united breath. Love that. And let's unmute and just maybe talk a little bit about who you were thinking about at that time. Because I'll start us off because September 11th, my son was born on August 14th, right before, almost a month before that. And I just remember I got up to feed him. I think it was like 6 a.m. Mountain Time, and turned on the news, and there it was, right? All this was happening. And I just remember like holding him. And just feeling like questioning, like, what did I bring this child into? Like, what is happening right now? It was unbelievable. It's shocking. It's sad. And then, it just kept unfolding, right? Because the second plane hadn't even hit. So I just was shocked. So, but I just remember having all these emotions just flooding in, as we all did, right? And then it's like, how do you move forward? So, and you have to make decisions around that, like we do every day. Things happen in our lives, and we all have things going on in our lives. But I think that, the question remains is like, how do we continue to move forward with positivity and love and just shining our lights? And so, yeah, that's what I was thinking about, and just and sending love. Anybody else? Yeah, Katam.
Well, being that we're Muslims and we're Arabs, it didn't change the fact that we're all human beings. But unfortunately, it's something that we knew we were going to get a backlash for. But I remember waking up, I was in my parents' house. Believe it or not, I was going through IVF procedures to have my son, actually. And I was in Manhattan the day before. And I remember waking up to seeing that and thinking, not only I'm not there, I could have been in that, but thinking why people do what they do, and thinking this is not our religion, it's not our culture. We're not people who condone, a killing or innocent people. Those people were innocent. So whatever politics is happening in our country has nothing to do with these innocent people. But we knew, we were afraid. We're going to say, oh my God, it was Arabs, it was Muslims, it was, this is all the things that we were fearful of. For the most part, by the way, I was raised in this country. My parents came, from overseas, from Palestine. They did not, they were very lucky. They did not be affected by any sorts of racism. We were very grateful for everything that we got when they came to this country. And I was born and raised in America. It wasn't until literally after that, even our neighbors who, knew us so well, but it didn't matter. It is what it is. People were angry. People were scared. People were shocked. And I can't blame them in that way. So, a few incidents, our car got, bashed, through, but we were safe in our home in Long Island. We were in Long Island at the time. And, but, we told ourselves, how are we going to go out now? How are we going to, be, especially wearing a scarf so our hearts were breaking for these people. And by the way, Muslims died that day, Arabs died that day as well. So these people who drove those planes did not care who they hurt. And it just, we told ourselves, we just have to try to be positive in the way of showing ourselves, to let people know we are not them. They are not us. They're people separate from who they are. They do not represent Islam, and do not represent the Arab culture either. So that was basically what we had to tell ourselves we had to do. We had to be strong and show people love, and tell them that we're loving people. And it's all we could do. It's all we could do, and stand in prayers for these people as well, the way that they stood up when, any way we could show our support, that's what we did for these people. So, and to this day, September 11th, still, is very strong in our hearts. It's not something that you can just erase. It's just impossible. Unnecessary killing, unnecessary death, unnecessary, orphans were made that day. You know what I mean? Like, and it sickness, people are still dealing with the asbestos and all that other stuff. There's people who are still, experiencing the effects of the aftermath of what happened that day. And for what in the end? You think, for what? I don't want to get into politics, so, but my heart goes out to everybody. And unfortunately, the just misunderstanding of culture and people all around, and that's why when we found all of you and we said these people are just so loving and they accepted us and they didn't say, well, she's an Arab or she's a Muslim or she's, you guys just took us in as women, as Fatima, as Khatam, as whoever other Muslim Arab in your business. So that's it for me. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. Thank you for that and sharing, being vulnerable. And yeah, we're so happy that both you and Fatima are here. And yeah, it's about being human, right? There's no separation. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. Yeah, Carol. Oh, there you are. Okay, gotcha.
Can you hear me? I have a little bit of a delay. Thank you, Khatam, for sharing, and I'm so glad that you and Fatima are a part of our team. Sorry, I was in Philly, outside of Philly, so it was really scary because we didn't know what was going on, and being that close to New York was really scary. But what I thought about during this was I actually just prayed for peace so that this stops. And I was thinking about like anybody with brown skin who could be mistaken for whatever cultural background or nationality they are and get targeted. And I think that's absolute horseshit, for lack of a better way to describe it. But we are all human beings. I don't care what color your skin is or what you were raised or whatever. Like you're still a child of God, regardless of your belief systems. In my belief system, we are all children of our divine creator. And it does, there's extremism in every religious sect. It doesn't matter. I was raised born again Christian spectrum as well, and it doesn't get talked about. So, you've got people who are hoarding food, guns, weapons, and it shouldn't be overlooked. So, nobody's exempt from being a human and needing to act in kindness, and we don't see it enough. So that's my little 2 cents. So
yeah, you, Carol.
Thanks,
Carol. Anyone else? Okay.
Good morning.
Hey, Yvonne.
Sorry, put the video on there. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've been listening, and I've been very fortunate to have lived in different parts of the world where I fit perfectly in and where I didn't fit in at all. And I'm grateful for everyone in the world that has open eyes and ears and heart and mind, see the way Carol and Tom does. And there are a lot of us out there. So that keeps me going,
Yeah.
And I've lived in Japan, I lived in Sweden, I lived in the US, I have traveled through Switzerland and Germany. I hope to see more places. It was a privilege to live outside of the United States. I've definitely missed living in America. Trust me, I basically kissed the ground when I came back home. Not because it was so bad, but because I was so grateful for the things that I do have. And it seems like there's a pattern out there. And you talked about prayer, Carol. It's a really awesome tool. If anything, it just calms me down initially, and then feeds me more. But what I see happening, there is a heart problem out there. And everyone is a child of God, even the ones that are making horrible decisions. I pray for them too. And there are some amazing examples out there throughout history, not just World War II, mind you, but all kinds of genocide situations that come up. And it's been that way for ages. I just went and visited my home country, my heritage is Scotland, Sweden. And I went and visited a mass grave, and they had discovered these mass graves. The biggest battle in medieval time happened on that island. So it was, and still to this day, people put wreaths on that mass grave. This happened in 1361, mind you. But it just goes to show we are just little beings, hopefully trying to do our best. But be mindful of if you have anger and fear, check into that and ask yourself where that's coming from. And, maybe for lack of a better word, check yourself before you wreck yourself, anybody else. So I'm so grateful to hang out with such a chill group like yourself that listen with an open mind, because sometimes we misunderstand each other, sure. And we can get a little upset even with what we hear people say, but hopefully we can take that step back and go, now, wait, maybe I should just ask what they meant before I attack them or get upset. Because, I don't live inside their head. I haven't lived their life. There's a reason for it. We can hook arms and whip this world into shape, one person at a time. So anyway.
Yeah. Thank you, Yvonne. And we do, I see your hand up next, Jeanette. And look at how grateful and how beautiful our group is. And and this goes beyond what you see here, right? We have such a huge group of caring human beings and individuals that just want to make things better. And I love that about our group. So thanks for that, Yvonne. Jeanette, I see your hand up.
Hi. Yeah, during this 9/11, I had literally, I moved here in 2000 to United States. And people were so worried how I ended up in Colorado because of Columbine. Everybody said, how can you live in Littleton? The first shooting, and it was just so upsetting, and my friends and family was like, that's a very dangerous place to live in. And then a year later, actually, Columbine obviously happened before I came there, but then when 9/11 happened, my first thought was like, I'm living in a very violent country. I'm scared coming to this country. And I'm sorry, I get emotional. I didn't even realize I was going to get emotional. But as that, when it happens, the first thing it's so unreal, right? Something, happened to a country where you're in, to being attacked from just foreign sources. You have no idea really, but seeing all these innocent people and the building falling down and realize the whole impact, how many people that passed. And yeah, that was tough. And it was hard just to go through that for all of us, I'm sure. And what I just feel in my inner thought is exactly what Carol was saying and everybody else here, but there is this whole judgment that is going through that is so just people are judging so much instead of really, be having more empathy in the world. We just need to start changing that attitude. And I feel like this country right now has had so much of that anger and just, and that's why I love this community, that we can show our love to each other, that we should be showing, and and I want to show the love for other, empathy for others, no matter who we are. And, it's like, the passion for it's not just about selling products and being out there and sell our Juice Plus. It is about that humanity that we all share, that we all want to share in the world. And so I'm striving for that. And I know I have a safe place to go to with our team and other people that are like-minded. So thank you